Students with such disabilities struggle to learn through traditional teaching methods. Dyslexia, for example, might hinder individuals' ability to interpret perceived information. Hyperactivity, inattention, or impulsivity interfere with persons functioning in a classroom, and in this way affect their personal development. Students with speech or language disorders might have difficulties expressing themselves or using language. Autism is, on the other hand, an umbrella description that includes autistic disorder, Asperger's syndrome, and atypical autism. This disability affects the way information is taken by a student, and stored in the brain. People with autism typically have difficulties in verbal and nonverbal communication, social interactions, and other activities. The group of students with long-term illness is a very heterogeneous group according to their type of the problem. Among others, long-term or chronic illnesses, bodily injury, or prolonged rehabilitation, as well as physical and mental health disorders may be listed. It is important to enabling pedagogical staff to acquire knowledge for work with students with special needs and to make them aware of their role in the performance of students with special needs and their well-being. Of course, some ethical dilemmas exist among higher education teachers. Many of them doubt that adaptations will jeopardize academic standards. Another ethical dilemma faced by higher education teachers is that they see adjustments as an unfair advantage of individual students. To avoid ethical dilemmas, communication about adjustments between the student and the teacher is crucial. There is a range of inclusive teaching strategies that can assist all students to learn, but there are some specific strategies that are useful for teaching students with specific learning difficulties. In this chapter, various techniques and approaches will be explained for individual types of disabilities. Changes might relate to adaptation of learning spaces, communication and transmission of study information, use of computer and laboratory equipment, work in small groups, practical and field training, study process, and written and oral examination. Another important issue that should be mentioned in this chapter relates to the examinations. In considering alternative forms of assessment, equal opportunity and not a guaranteed outcome should be the objective. Teachers are not expected to lower standards to accommodate students with a disability, but rather are required to give them a reasonable opportunity to demonstrate what they have learned. Quite some adjustments to oral and written examination and assessment of knowledge are possible in higher education classrooms and are explained in this chapter. Support for higher education institutions at an organizational level is also crucial. Each institution has to have its regulation, but organizational culture is also important. There are a variety of support measures listed in this chapter. However, it is not enough for an institution to guarantee access to students with disabilities. The institutional policies and practices must be revised to ensure that education is inclusive, guaranteeing that all students can participate fully and benefit from a process of quality teaching and learning.